Caloroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Today we're celebrating Halloween with a special Royal Hauntings episode of Palace Intrigue. And by the way, Caloroga Shark Media, who runs this podcast, have several other podcasts also diving into the Monster Mash theme. You can check out Romance Weekly, Ghost, Murder Weekly, and The Best Song Ever this week, all feature Monster Mash kind of themes. So if you'd like to enjoy any of those shows, please go to Caloroga, that's CALOROGA.com, and you'll get a full list of all of our Halloween fun stuff. Windsor Castle is a popular tourist destination with its stunning architecture and regal history. It is also host to several ghosts, including King Henry VIII, King George III, and a young grenadier guard who committed suicide on the Long Walk. One ghost in particular is well known to King Charles, his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, who reportedly visits the castle's library wearing her heels, as noted by Visit Britain. Meanwhile, Buckingham Palace has been part of the royal family since 1703, but some of the ghosts that haunt it have been around even longer. Reports have been made of a monk in chains on the rear terrace, where a monastery used to stand. It is said that Major John Gwynne, who was the private secretary of King Edward VII, inhabited the regal dwelling and later committed suicide by gunning himself after his divorce from his spouse. Balmoral Castle has been a cherished home to the royal family since 1852, when Queen Victoria and Prince Albert acquired the estate. The castle has a long and storied history, with a great deal of restoration and expansion having been undertaken since the late 19th century. It is now a favoured holiday destination for the royal family, providing a much-needed respite from the hustle and bustle of London. It is also associated with a famous ghost tale. It is said that the figure of John Brown, Queen Victoria's servant and friend, can still be spotted in the castle's hallways, donned in a kilt. Some go as far as to suggest that the two had a romantic relationship. A visit to Hampton Court Palace is a journey through the grandeur of Tudor and Baroque eras. This magnificent palace is a reminder of the power and prestige of the British monarchy throughout the centuries. There is something for everyone here, from the awe-inspiring beauty of the Great Hall to the fascinating stories of Henry VIII and his 6 wives. Hampton Court Palace is a true wonder to behold. It is also a palace with many ghosts, including 2 of Henry VIII's wives. Jane Seymour, who was his third partner and favourite, passed away at the palace shortly after delivering a son. It is believed that a pale figure is seen on the Silver Stick stairs, which was the way to the room where she took her last breath. Execution by beheading was the fate of Catherine Howard, Henry VIII's 5th wife, in 1542 when she was just 19. Reports claim that her spirit haunts the same hallways she fled down while pleading for clemency as she was apprehended. Kensington Palace is said to be haunted by the spirit of King George II, according to law, when he passed away in 1760. He was awaiting news of his troops in the 7 Years' War. Reportedly, he died gazing out of the window, querying, "Why don't they come?" And so it is said his query continues to this day. The Tower of London is a famous historical site located in the English capital city. It is a fortress built by William the Conqueror in 1078 and has been used as a royal residence, a prison, an armoury, a treasury, and the home of the crown jewels. It is a popular tourist attraction, and its grounds are still used for ceremonial purposes. The Tower of London is known for its famous ghost, Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's second wife, who was beheaded on the Tower Green in 1536. It is thought that her spectre still haunts the spot of her execution. The Palace of Holyrood House, situated at the bottom of the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, has been a royal residence since the 16th century. It has served as a venue for royal ceremonies, state receptions, and other official functions of the monarchy. The palace is also home to a number of stunning works of art, including paintings by Titian and Van Dyck, and is the home of a ghost. At the Queen of Scotland's abode in Edinburgh, a slaying occurred in 1566. Mary had begun a relationship with David Rizzio, but when her husband, Lord Darnley, became aware of it, he commanded that Rizzio be executed with Mary present, even though she was 7 months pregnant. It is said that Lord Darnley met his end in the household by a mysterious blast, which was purportedly directed by Mary as her revenge. Allegedly, his spirit still lingers in his former chambers. At Sandringham House, visitors can explore the opulent state rooms, including the library and the magnificent drawing room. The grounds of the estate are just as impressive, with stunning gardens, a lake, and many peaceful woodland walks. Sandringham House provides a fascinating insight into a bygone era and is a true sight to behold. Each year, the royal family usually congregate at Sandringham for Christmas, though a few mischievous poltergeists have been known to cause a stir by launching cards around, tugging sheets off of beds and toying with the lamps. For 300 years, St. James Palace was the abode of monarchs and was constructed by Henry VIII in the 1530s. The legendary figure of Joseph Sellis, a former royal servant, is said to haunt the area and can be seen with an open throat. And at Amner Hall, Kate Middleton and Prince William are joined by a fellow resident, a saintly figure, Henry Walpole, a member of the family that previously owned the Norfolk estate, had been put to death at the Tower of London for his Catholic faith. His spirit is said to haunt the grounds and has been seen by many. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Paranormal historian Richard Felix told the A Right Royal podcast, Prince Charles was apparently terrified at Sandringham when he was in the library. He and a footman were there and followed around by a ghost. Felix said the king wasn't too excited about being haunted by one ghost in particular. Apparently he's not too happy about Buckingham Palace. Again, it's haunted by the ghost of a monk. Basically, Buckingham Palace was built on a site that belonged to the monks of Westminster Abbey. This monk, we don't know what happened to him, but he's seen with a cowl, in other words, his hood, wandering through the halls of Buckingham Palace. Hello magazine tells us Queen Camilla once revealed that she refused to go into the Dumfries house while Charles was renovating it. She explained, I remember the first time I walked up the steps, got into the hall, and I thought, I can't go any further. I literally froze. If my hair could stand on end, it could have done. I remember leaving and thinking, I don't want to come back here again, and I didn't for a few years. Queen Elizabeth II reportedly once saw the ghost of a previous monarch in Windsor Castle. The Queen was spending time with Princess Margaret when they are said to have seen the ghost of Elizabeth I. Tourism website Visit Britain tells us, the Queen and the late Princess Margaret, who was the Queen's only sister, saw Elizabeth's ghost in the library room at Windsor Castle. Elizabeth I is also said to haunt Westminster Abbey, where she is buried next to her sister Mary, and ghost hunters believe she is a restless spirit due to her horrific life. Some online commenters thought they heard the ghost of Princess Diana speak during ITV's news coverage of Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. ITV's viewers said they heard a creepy voice speak as the state hearse carried the Queen's coffin out of London. The voice said, "Death is irreversible. The fact that she's trapped." Before the voice could say more, a male commentator cut in. "As you can see here in London, it's a lovely day." Social media user Jedi Werewolf posted, "That's the ghost of Diana letting us know the Queen will not be coming back and she's stuck in her own hell loop." And the ghost of Queen Elizabeth II is said to be around herself if you believe Sarah Ferguson. After the Queen died, her corgis went to Sarah, who told Hello magazine, "The corgis are very nice and very polite and well trained. I am their favourite, but everybody always says it's just because I feed them gravy bones. I love everything about them and I spoil them the most. They are national icons, so every time they run chasing a squirrel, I panic. But they're total joys, and I always think that when they bark at nothing and there's no squirrels in sight, I believe it's because the Queen is passing by." And there you have it. For more Monster Mash Halloween fun, please check out our other shows from Caloroga Shark Media, like Ghost Scary Stories Daily, which has a Monster Mash themed episode. Plus there's a whole month of other scary stories. Also, Romance Weekly and Murder Weekly have scary themes. Comedy News Daily has some horror funnies. Plus the best song ever this week features the original Monster Mash. For more info, just go to caloroga.com. That's CALOROGA.com. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue and good times.
Caloroga Shark Media.